Instagram family, this is Dr. Yabo Webzel from Atlanta. This is my first tea time with Dr. Yabo this month. And who is the best person that can come with, to grace, to usher in September with us? Dr. Moni Adanijo. So Dr. Moni is my guest today. This is Tea Time with Dr. Yabo. If we've never met before, I'm a pediatrician. I'm a physician entrepreneur, I'm a speaker, author, business, lifestyle, and dating coach. I'm a high performance coach. I'm a writer, blogger, content creator, mom of 4, wife to my honey. So I wear many hats. But if you just started following me, welcome to my platform. I know there's been many new followers recently, so welcome to my platform. Share my platform with all of your friends that may love my kind of content. So today we are discussing physicians, burnout, and how to use creativity as an antidote to burnout. So just start. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Somebody said it's the skin and the diction for me. Thank you. The skin comes from self-care, from low stress, right? From drinking my tea, from drinking water, using my sunscreen, not stressing out, and from living in my purpose. We're going to discuss all of those things today. And the diction part, well, practice and practice and practice. The more you practice public speaking, the better you get at it. So we're going to dive in. I'm going to bring Dr. Moni on right now, and we're going to start because when Dr. Moni go live, you guys may never have seen us live together before. 1 hour is not enough for us. We have so much to talk about. Hello, my sister from another mother.
Hi, Dr. Yabo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing even better now that you're live with me.
How's everything going?
Everything is good by God's grace. We thank God for his grace, for his blessings, for his protection.
Fantastic.
It's all by God's grace. I've been in a fantastic mood all morning. I've told my whole family, I'm like, I'm going live with Dr. Moni. My husband said, oh, that funny doctor.
Yeah, that's me.
My husband said that funny doctor. I said, yes, the funny and very bright one. She's very bright, very intelligent. She's an effico like me. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
There's going to be many agains because you and I have so much in common. We have a very similar vision, very similar mission in life. So we're going to be talking about a lot and helping all of these beautiful women out there. You're looking fantastic. I'm loving that.
So are you. Short hair. I hardly ever use a short hair wig. But today I was like, you know what? Let's change it up a bit. We can't always have long hair. Let's have short hair today. And I think I like the look.
It looks really good. It frames your face very nicely. Yeah.
Thank you.
It does. Thank you. So it's all about looking good and feeling confident. So welcome. Tea Time with Dr. Yabo. Ladies and gents, please start, Start inviting your friends. Start tagging. That's the word I'm looking for. Start tagging your friends on this live. All you have to do is just type their name and post it, and they will come and join us on this live. This live is not only for doctors. It's actually for everybody. Everything we're discussing today honestly pertains to everybody in any profession, any career that you're in. You'll be able to learn something. So welcome. Get your tea and everything ready. We're discussing physicians, burnout, and how to use creativity as an antidote. Like I said, it applies to every professional, everybody. Even if you're a stay-home mom, you'll be able to learn something from this. So Dr. Moni is a cardiologist, and she's a heart health coach. Those are the two main things that she does, but there are many other things that she does as well. So Dr. Moni, I'm going to let you say hi to everybody, tell them what to do, how to follow you, how to learn from all of the wonderful content you put out there, and then we'll start.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you once again, Dr. Yaba, for having me on your tea time for like the third or fourth time. My name is Dr. Moni Adanijo. I'm a cardiologist and I live and work in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, apart from being a cardiologist, by the way, a cardiologist is a doctor that prevents and treats heart disease, because that's what a cardiologist is. Now, apart from being a cardiologist, I'm also a heart health coach, and I help busy professional men and women overhaul their lifestyle so that they can live healthier lives and prevent heart disease. I'm also a speaker, a public speaker. I like to teach about heart disease. I am also an author. I am a wife of 19 years. I'm a mother to 2 teenage daughters. I run a physical brick and mortar business called Naveen Healthcare. I'm also co-director of a tech company called Naveen Technology Solutions. And I run an online business. Obviously, my health coaching is online. I'm a fantastic content creator. And that's it.
That
So
was a lot.
my handle is Dr._Moni Adanijo. So Dr.MoniAdanijo. So that's my Instagram handle. Follow me for health tips about how to take care of your heart and how to live a healthier life in general.
Wonderful. So you guys see now how Dr. Moni and I are like twin sisters. We're like sisters from different moms because we have so much in common, so much in common. We're both doctors. We're both passionate about teaching. We both love the business world. We just carry so many hats, but we're so similar. So please ask us your questions anytime. You can type it in the chat, but it's better to click on that bubble, the question bubble to your right, and type it there so that I don't miss it if there are many questions or many comments. And don't be shy. If you want to be private, you can type it in the question bubble and I won't mention your name, but please ask us questions. So, Dr. Moni, let's dive in. What is burnout? What does it mean?
Okay, so burnout is, to put it simply, burnout is when you feel exhausted and overwhelmed due to life stress. Okay, is when you feel exhausted and overwhelmed due to life stress. Now, most people that experience burnout at their jobs most of the time.
Okay.
So that's burnout in a nutshell.
Okay, so burnout refers to being overwhelmed and stressed at their job. What if they're burnt out at home? So let me rephrase it. Can you be burnt out in your personal life but love your job?
Okay, no, what I said was that burnout occurs usually around people's jobs. That's what I said.
Okay.
However, when you feel exhausted and overwhelmed, it could be anything. It could be your finances, it could be your social life, it could be your personal life, it could be anything. Anything that makes you exhausted, overwhelmed, you're just tired, you just feel you can't continue, you can't go on like this. That is burnout. But most people, like I said, experience it, with their jobs.
Okay, so mostly it's job related. That sounds like all women, or maybe 99 or 95% of women at some point or the other have been burnt out. I'm not burnt out now, but I've been there.
So have I. I have been burnt out. I think it was 2 years ago. I've been so badly burnt out. And this was job related. Every Sunday evening, I used to be a mess. I used to cry. I used to have palpitations. I used to have anxiety because I knew I'm going to work on Monday. Many times when I get to work, I stay in my car for hours. I don't want to come out of my car. But when I realize, you know what, you need to go out, I come out, I put on a brave face, I go to work. But deep down, I really don't want to be there.
What job was that at the time? Was it your business or was it an employed job?
It was an employed. I was a civil servant. I was working for the government. It was a regular 9 to 5. Although I was a regular cardiology doctor, seeing patients, doing the normal ward rounds, it was just so boring. And I felt there was more I could do. And I just felt they weren't allowing me express myself. Those of you that know me know that I don't like to be put in a box. I don't like people telling me this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. And I felt exhausted because I had to keep up appearances while I was at that job. So I totally hated it. I was burnt out. I hated going to work. It gave me anxiety. And one day I woke up and I quit. Just like that.
I'm writing down some key things that are hitting me as you were talking. It's funny that you say, and this is critical, you said you found that job boring. And that's why you were burnt out. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. You know, isn't that amazing that you found it boring? Not that you, again, you and I are hard workers. We're realistic people, right? So we're not going to say, oh, that job was just too hard, because nothing is easy. Business is not easy. 9 to 5 is not easy. You just have to pick your heart. So I'm glad that you didn't say that job was hard, because a lot of women have that unrealistic expectation that it has to be easy and just flow as to how I like it.
Honestly, I'm working harder now than I worked on my 9 to 5.
Say that again.
I'm working harder now than I worked when I was doing my 9 to 5. And although I'm working harder, I'm actually having fun. It's really weird. And I'm having fun simply because what I'm doing is exciting. I find it exciting. I like what I'm doing. I enjoy it. I actually look forward to going to work in the morning, which is such a flip from where I was 2 years ago, you know.
We could end the live here. We could, honestly, we could end the live here and we would have covered everything, because it's not about how hard you work. It's whether that job is challenging you, it's fulfilling you. You said another thing. You said you felt like you were keeping up appearances at that job. Oh my goodness. Yes. So many people do that. So many people act, they keep up appearances, and that is draining. You know, if you're not allowed to be yourself in life, it's the most draining thing. This is how my first marriage was draining, and part of why it led to divorce, because I just felt like Iyabo was gone. You know, I felt like the essence of Iyabo was gone. And you're so right. So the job was boring. So if you guys are listening, I hope you're making notes. Dr. Moni just said she burnt out from her job 2 years ago because the job was boring. Not because she was working too hard. And then she felt like she was keeping up appearances. So maybe that's what you experience. Maybe the job you're in now is boring. You feel like you're not yourself. You're not being your authentic self. That may be the problem. I love it. Okay, so let's move on. Now we know what burnout is. What is creativity?
So creativity, to me, is using your imagination to solve problems, or using your imagination to do things. Take, for example, people think they are not creative because they can't act, or they can't sing, or they can't paint or draw. No. Creativity is trying to convince your toddler to eat by singing and dancing. Creativity is trying to use your coupons to the maximum, you know, to get the maximum discounts, you know, trying to arrange your coupons in such a way that you get the most money off. That's creativity. Creativity is arranging your schedule in a different way so that you can be free to do other things. That's creativity. So it's not only when you can sing, or when you can dance, or when you can, or when you can act. Because people think creativity is singing, dancing. No. Everybody has a creative streak in them. You just haven't given it a thought as to how you're using your creativity.
This is why I love chatting with you, because honestly, Dr. Moni, let's start charging these women for our lives. Let's start charging. Let me put the Niger accent now. Let's start charging these women, because our lives, you know, Dr. Moni, you drop some gems on these lives. You know, next time, guys, you're going to pay $500 each to come to this live. $500 each, because the one hour we're giving you, this one self is, you know, it's real big coaching. Using your imagination to solve problems. Do you need a degree for creativity?
Of course not. You don't. In fact, some of the most creative people I know are illiterates, because they have to use to do things and they are not lettered like you and I. They probably have the basic reading and writing so that they can get along in life, but they don't have the big degrees that you and I have. I have a wall full of degrees. You don't need those to be creative. In fact, the more degrees you have, the less likely you would think you're creative, because you would have fixed your mind that I'm a this or I'm a that, or the book says this. Studies have shown that, you know, something et al. In 2004 said that, and you tend to keep yourself in that box. As far as I'm concerned, the more educated you are, the more you lose your touch with your creative side, to be honest.
We've been on this live for 17 minutes. You guys have learned a lot already. I'm telling you, the more educated you are, the less likely your creativity will shine. The less likely your creativity will be used to its maximum. The less likely you'll even believe you can be creative. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the less likely you have time to be creative, because you have to be if you're well educated, you probably have a very high power job, or, you know, medium to high power job. So you even have to be creative to be able to create time to use your creativity. You know? Yeah.
I like that. You have to be creative to create time to use your creativity. That is a tweet. That is a tweet. Please write it down. That is a tweet. that is a tweet. You have to be creative to be able to create time to use your creativity. Fantastic. That is the tweet.
But that's the problem with us academics. That is the problem. If I didn't, you know, consciously, in fact, I think it was a specific event in my life that really made my creativity just rush itself out. I had been getting, you know, nudges here and there to write. I remember one particular day I was on this long train ride when I was in London, and something kept telling me to bring out something from my book to write. And I'm like, why is something, I was sitting by the window and I'm like, why does something keep telling me to write? I'm like, but I didn't have time. Then I had so much going on in my head. I was jumping from job to job, but I had different nudges in my life to write. But the main event that made me start writing was when my dad passed. That was when my creative skill came out, because I had quiet time. I slowed down. I wasn't going into the office anymore. But luckily, I had 2 doctors. Then I wasn't going in. I had to grieve. And my creativity just burst out. And I wrote 2 books back to back in about 2 months.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Just take a look at that.
You know, it had to take that kind of deep grieving for me to really slow down to create time. So imagine if, God forbid, you know, like, let's say my dad was still alive today, I probably wouldn't be writing. I'll still be running around like a robot.
Yeah, doing 10,000 locums at the same time.
Yes, looking for money that you even have time to spend the money.
Exactly, exactly.
So if you're really well educated, you've learned something today, okay? Because there are many people who are well educated who feel that they're in jobs that, you know, that is the beginning and the end. And then after some years, they're like, is this life? You know, they're like,
they haven't lived. They haven't quite lived.
It's like, I haven't lived. What is this life? You know, so now another definition I need from you, then we'll put everything together. What is purpose?
Okay, so purpose is what you were put in a particular position or a particular place to do.
Okay.
In this case, purpose, for the purpose of this life, purpose is what you were put on this earth to do with your gifts and talents, because everybody has gifts. You know, I always say this thing, everybody has gifts. Okay. I realized in the last year, my gift is teaching. Okay. I have a gift to teach people, but I don't want to be the paper writing professor. I don't want to be the person in the classroom that is grading students. No, my gift is to teach. Okay. And I realized that now everybody has a gift. Dr. Yabo's gift is making fantastic content. I don't know how you come up. Sometimes I steal your content ideas. I'm like, oh, she did that. I'm going to go and replicate it. You know? That is your gift, as far as I'm concerned, because you know how to create content. It's just, you just do it so effortlessly.
I do.
For me, many times I'm learning, I'm learning, and people still think, oh, you create so much. I said, go to Dr. Yabo's page. She's the chief content creator. But I know that, my gift is to teach. I can talk for 2 hours on any subject that I am passionate about without slides. I don't need slides. I don't need prior notification. I don't need any bells and whistles. Just shove a mic in my hand and tell me, talk about heart disease, talk about work-life balance, talk about women empowerment, and I can go on for 2 hours. That is my special. We all have a gift. And for some reason, when life happens to us, we don't realize we have that gift because we're too busy living. And for us doctors is a problem because initially we're too busy trying to pass exams. There's the rush to pass one exam. No matter where you are in the world, medical school exams are horrible and horrendous and too many. When you now eventually become this big doctor, there are still more exams after your first degree, exams. And then there's pressure to read more. There's the promotion pressure. There's pressure to do. And then because for some reason, one job is never enough as a doctor. You must do like 3 or 4 locums to be able to, so you're busy reading, running from job to job. And you realize that half the time you don't live in your house. You have a huge house you don't live in because you're running up and down. You have a huge car that all you do with your car is drive from place to place. Sometimes you don't even enjoy the features the car has. You just go in, kick and go. And you are tired. There's even no time to even explore your creativity or your talent or your purpose. Who has time for that when you're too busy trying to insert a chest tube? So...
I don't even know where to start. You've said it all. You've said it all. Now, everything we're saying, we've said it over and over and over. We'll keep saying it, right? Mm-hmm. But what I know is that it seems like doctors just have to go through the motions before they listen. I'm not being a doctor is fantastic. Okay? If I had another chance at life, like, I don't know if there's a second life or third life, if it exists, I won't be a doctor. I have to be open with that. I will not.
Neither would I.
I will not be a doctor. I will be an entrepreneur 10 times, okay? Yeah. And I'll make sure that the first business that I'm an entrepreneur in is the medical business because there's money in the medical business because medicine is a huge business and they've brainwashed us that, it's just to take care of people. Yes, we need doctors, but in my second, third life, I just won't be one of those doctors, but I'll be one of the people that are managing those doctors because that's where my skill. I'm a manager, okay? I'm a manager, I'm a teacher, I'm an organizer, I'm an administrator. I just love, all those leadership things. However, Dr. Moni, the doctors have to go through the motions. All what we're saying is going to pass them by. Okay, we're not saying don't be a doctor. We're just saying look for innovative and creative ways so that you can still be a doctor, but enjoy it. That's all we're saying. Yes, we need doctors. We can't say nobody should be a doctor. What's going to happen? Even though there's other things, that's a more complicated talk, which we'll talk about later. Because what we need to focus on in medicine all over the world is prevention.
Exactly.
And we don't focus on prevention. We're treating all this chronic. Whenever I'm because I don't drive on the highway in Atlanta, I'm terrified of highways. Everybody knows. I'm free to say it now. I used to hide it before, but I don't care. I'm scared of Atlanta highways. But when my husband is driving and I'm beside him, we discuss this all the time, that the US government spends so much money building more and more highways. This is why people are getting fatter and sicker and more chronic diseases. We're still, dry cleaners is drive-through. Everything is drive-through.
Everything is drive-through. The bank is drive-through.
If you
cash your check drive-through. You can get your money from the ATM is drive-through. Everything is drive-through.
So we're spending money on, and it's all about the bottom line. It's all about, yes, they're creating money for the people who sell gas and petrol and cars, You know, the highways are getting wider and wider. There's no buses, no trains. People don't need to walk. Dr. Moni, if you walk into some women's cars, you wonder, because you just see all sorts of junk there. They're half eating McDonald's, their drink, their car is like their home.
Sippy cups, and all kinds of things.
And ketchup on the car. And you're thinking, this is, you know, your car is your home. So we don't focus on prevention. You are the heart doctor, right? Everybody's gaining weight, gaining weight. So that's another topic for another day. But doctors won't listen. They have most doctors. So our advice to you is that you better listen to what we're saying now, because you will get there. There's no way. Once you hit like your 40s, maybe even late 30s, 40s, 50s, you're going to burn out. A lot of doctors don't burn out until they start having children also, and after they get married. Right?
Yes, I think by the time you're clocking, because I'm a 23, I've been a doctor for 23 years. So by the time you're getting to your 10th or your 15th year as a doctor, you now start asking yourself, is this all? Is this all there is? Am I just supposed to be going from locum to locum? Am I just supposed to be doing this for the rest of my life? And you realize that so many doctors are depressed. So many doctors are suicidal because of burnout. And for some reason, because we were never taught how to do anything but doctor. The average doctor only knows how to doctor. That's all we know. Yep. That's all, you know. So you find yourself wondering, there's nothing else you can do. Then you now feel stuck. You feel stuck in the profession you're tired of. You get upset with your patients. You get angry at the system. You know, you're making all this money. You're not even happy about it. And you are like, oh my God, you know, what am I going to do? Many doctors are hooked on alcohol and drugs for this reason.
Yes.
For this reason.
And stimulants.
And the stigma of saying, I don't want to be a doctor anymore is also a thing. Now, because for someone like me, I'm very outspoken. I say I don't know how to pretend. Whenever I tell my colleagues that once I turned 50, I'm going to step back a bit from clinical medicine, like, oh, so what will you now be doing? I'll be like, I'll be teaching. I'll be creating content. I'll be flying all over the world on holiday. Have I not tried? A quarter century doing one thing. Not that I'll stop being a doctor, of course not. Being a doctor is in my DNA. But just dial it back a bit. Have less hours. You know, maybe just do clinic twice a week. And then those who want to see me pay high super premium. And I hire a cardiologist for my practice. This has always been my plan. Once I turn 50, I'm leaving that rat race behind. I am leaving that rat race behind. Because, it's time to live a little, do other things. How long do you have after 50? Max 20 years before you now finally end up in a retirement home somewhere. So you need to learn to live.
Yes, and when I notice, because there are many doctors on Instagram who say, stop telling people that medicine is hard. Why should I not tell you? It is hard. Why should
it is hard.
Yeah, and when I look at the people who say that, Dr. Moni, it's usually women in their late 20s to 30s who say that. Right. And I just look at them and I'm like, okay. And their kids are still little. They have kids like below the age of, I don't know, 8 or 10. And I'm like, okay, tell people the truth. Because yes, there are people that genuinely do love to be doctors. That's fine. If you really genuinely want to go into medicine, but you have to go in with a plan. Because for me, the only reason why I never really got burnt out for a long time, I was burnt out mostly because of my divorce. I wasn't burnt out from my job, really. I was managing my job and the business well, but, managing a failing marriage with having a business and young kids burnt me out.
It's stressful.
It was stressful. But for me, I had the formula to dealing with burnouts from my parents because I started my practice at age 32, or was it 33? So, that for me, that was my antidote to burnout. I had already gone into entrepreneurship in my early 30s. So I had a plan on how I was going to hire people and, pull back. And then I noticed I loved the management of the practice better than patients. So I had already found my sweet spot. But not many doctors are going to listen. And then doctors also get suspicious.
Okay.
about doctors are very, maybe suspicious isn't the word. Like if you sat a doctor down now to talk to them about business, they're very resistant to it because they suspect everything is like what am I, do you understand what is it? Like if you talk to, like with coaching, even with business coaching, I think they're finally catching on to it, but they're always suspicious of, oh, it's a scam, or it's a this, or
They
it's
think
just
no, they think it's beneath them. At least
okay.
for the ones I've interacted with, they think learning about business is how can I learn about business? Go and learn about how to operate the brain. That's hard work. Was like I was talking to a junior colleague of mine, about my coaching business and the fact that I really like these my workshops because I now travel. I now travel to do these workshops and things like that. And she was like, "Oh, the soft life." And I'm like, "No, it's not the soft life." Because the truth is that creating content for seminars and workshops to keep them ever fresh is hard work. But doctors always think once it's not medicine, then it's the soft life. Medicine is the only difficult thing. So when you're discussing administration, business, finances, they turn their nose up at you and go, I can
Yes.
hire someone to do that. I can, I don't need to learn that, I'm the best doctor in my area. So, and that's all I need. But that is not true. Because many doctors, especially in Nigeria, they want to have their own practice or they already have their own practice. How can you understand what your administrator is telling you if you don't understand administration? How can you understand what your accountant is telling you when you don't even understand the difference between profit and loss? How do you know when you're making money? How do you know how much your time is worth when you don't even know how to punch your numbers? How do you know how to charge? So I'm not saying you should be everything in your business, but you need to know what your business is doing such that you would be able to do the business of your medical business. That's another quote. You need to know what your business is doing so that you'll be able to know the business of your medical business. That's another quote. Yeah.
If you can see my arms now, I have goosebumps all over because the last few minutes you just talked about, it's not only Nigeria, in America. This is why many people were telling me when I was starting my practice that I shouldn't start it. They were telling me that, you know what, most practices fail. But after I started my practice, I realized why most practices fail. It's what you just said, practices that are less than 5 physician practices, the smaller ones, they don't survive because doctors are very arrogant. They feel they know everything. So they'll hire an office manager to do this, hire an office manager to do coding, to do this. And if you ask them any question about coding or any question about profit and loss, what their collection rate is, how many, they don't know. Well, there was a time that I was actually going into practice. I had a job on the side where I was going into practices to audit to see why their profits were so low. And I was shocked at what I saw. Most practices that I went into audit had less than 60% collection on the patients they were seeing.
So where's their money? People are owing them money.
So that's why.
And they don't even know.
Yes, they don't, because they've given oh, I have an office manager, so that when they go to a party, they'll say, oh yeah, my office manager is doing everything. Meanwhile, there's no money coming in. All of their payroll is from loans. They're on the verge of bankrupting their business.
The worst thing is money is coming in. No, at least that one, no money is coming in. It's clear. The worst part is money is coming in, but there's no profit, but you don't know. You have millions in the bank. So let's say you have $10,000 in the bank, but your cost of doing business is $20,000. But in your mind, you have 10,000. Oh, there's money. Hello, you don't have money. And whenever people like you and I talk about this, and they're always like, oh, you guys just hire somebody. Yes, I have, I have an office manager, I have an accountant, I have all these people, but I know what everybody's doing. And I understand what they're doing. So when you're talking to me about, oh, revenue, gross income, net income, blah, 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 I know what you're talking about, and I can be like, okay, so this is how much we need to make every day to break even. This is how much we need to make We need to increase prices because diesel has gone up. We need to increase prices because the exchange rate. You know, you need to know. So that is all part of creativity, because all those things require your imagination as a doctor to be able to be creative enough to learn how to keep your eye on your bottom line, because it's important. It's extremely important.
That is it. That is it. And this is what the money guys are enjoying in America. I call them the money guys, those young guys. And I love those guys because they're smart. Whoever is smart enough to make money, go ahead and make it. Doctors hate them. I love them. They're great because, yeah, if you see an opening into an industry where you can go in there and cash in, do it. So this is what these money guys are doing. They're just going into practices that are suffering, that are, you know, struggling. They buy them off for pennies and they start making millions from them because these doctors have... Imagine if a non-doctor can manage our own business better than us. I'm sorry to say, you know me, my mouth is slippery. We should be ashamed of ourselves.
You know, and
it's
doctors always
be ashamed as doctors.
Whenever you discuss money with doctors, they act like it's a dirty word, as if it's a 4-letter word. When you talk about money, oh, money. And I'm like, you need to talk about money. You need to talk about money. And I think it all comes from our curriculum, if you ask me. See, I think in medicine, we need to learn more about life.
Dr. Glover just said it. Look at Dr. Glover's comments.
Yeah, it's not just anatomy, biochem, you know, medicine, surgery. We need to learn life, because we don't learn anything about life. We just, everything is exams, exams, exams. You now realize that you don't even know how to live. I once had a doctor in my consulting room, horrible blood pressure. And I asked him, how do you relax? He's a surgeon. He looked at me blankly. He said, what's that?
Wow.
I'm a surgeon. I'm like, no, sir. How do you relax?
Wow.
His average day, wakes up in the morning, goes to hospital, yells at his staff, does like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 surgeries, leaves his own practice, goes to another practice, does another more surgeries there, goes around Lagos doing surgeries up and down, gets home at 9 o'clock, his kids are asleep, screams at his wife, and goes to bed. Guy has no free time. So when I saw him, he was horribly hypertensive, he was highly stressed, and he had all these health issues. So I asked him, what do you like to do? It took like 3 minutes of him thinking deeply. He now said, okay, before I became a surgeon, I used to like taking pictures. In fact, I have a camera in my house I haven't used in years.
Okay.
But I don't have time to take pictures. I'm too busy being a surgeon. I'm like, okay, come. This one, we are managing hypertension. This one is not ego matter.
This one is life and death.
Next week, Saturday, cancel. Nice cup. Next week, Saturday, cancel all your surgeries. Yeah, Reese's. Cancel all your surgeries. Go outside, anywhere, and take pictures. That's your assignment. Take, as in, you know, so we actually had a life plan. Of course, I had to give him medication because BP was too crazy. I saw him 2 weeks after, and I did not recognize him. First of all, the first day I saw him, he had a huge frown on his face. These lines were really, you know, looking. When I saw him 2 weeks after, he was actually smiling. And I was like, okay, so how has your, you know, past, you know, days been? And he's like, even my wife had to ask me what happened to me because I don't yell anymore. You know, I now spend time with my children. I've let go of 2 of my locums. I take pictures. I realized that all this money I was making, I'm not even spending it on my children. My kids don't know me. They don't see me. Of course, his BP was much better. And that is what is going on with most doctors.
Yes.
We're too busy running around, you know, being doctors, being the most important people in the room. And we're not living life. I can't remember who I was. Someone DM'd me. I was like, Dr. Moni, you're not even a very serious doctor. You're always going to parties. And I'm like, Dr. Yabo, if you live in Lagos, everything is stressful.
Yeah.
Electricity is stressful.
I know.
Traffic is stressful.
I know.
Only thing free is the air that we breathe. Even the air is polluted from diesel fumes.
Yeah.
So for me, parties are a great way to relieve stress.
Yeah.
I see people dressed in funny ways. I see friends I haven't seen in a long time. And I dance. Dancing is cardio. You people, yes. I'm getting my cardio for the day. You people are looking at me, but she's not serious. You understand? I don't work Saturdays. Patients have abused me, Kaya. My friends have abused me. Which doctor does not work on Saturdays? I don't work on Saturday. Saturday, I'm on the road. If there's no party, I'm lunching somewhere with some people. And I have a lot of non-doctor friends so that we don't discuss medicine and we are not too serious. Most of my friends are not doctors, as far as I'm concerned, because I need to live. You understand? I don't work after 4. Once it's 4 o'clock, you cannot even reach me because I'm resting. Self-care is important because this is my brain. Mental health is extremely, extremely important because your mental health and your physical health are linked.
I don't even know where to carry this conversation. I don't even know. All our non-Nigerian friends just hang in their way. So when we're, you know, like really, when the conversation is sweet, we just start putting, I don't even know. You know, I love to travel. My own enjoyment and self-care is travel. Every time I travel, there will always be a DM that comes to ask me, do you still practice medicine? Oh yeah, no, without fail. I'm telling you, without fail. Even sometimes when I'm still not in a negative way, I think they just want to know, like, how does she have time to travel when she has a practice and when she's a doctor? So they always ask
because
me,
you
like,
are being creative. You are
know.
being creative with your time management. You see,
I'm like, remember that I own my business. Okay, so if you own a business, that's the point of owning a business. So you can cut back or even cut back completely and work on the business. I have my laptop. My husband and I are both business owners. We can be anywhere in the world as long as we have our laptop. Our staff are working for us. The business is going and we're enjoying. You know, so that is what Dr. Moni and I want for all of you. But some of you, you are too impatient to see, Dr. Moni, they are too impatient. Once they try a business for 6 months, oh, you know, everybody's lying about entrepreneurship. Everybody is saying you make money. Everybody, who told you you're going to make money in 6 months? Not me and not Dr. Moni. Okay? You know, I think it's the young women of these days, they're so used to everything. Maybe it's because of social media or the internet. Everything has to be overnight. I've said it many times. Maybe you guys are not listening. 5 years. Minimum.
5 years. Minimum.
And Dr. Moni,
I've had my practice since 2013. 2013 is how many years now? 9 years.
You see?
9 years, yeah.
Okay, my practice is 19 years. 5 years, but also 5 years using the right strategies. I say that all the time because 5 years listening to some people who don't know, the blind leading the blind. So, you know, there are too many of you out there. 6 months, oh, I thought they said it's hard. They didn't tell me it was hard. They did say, who told you that you're going to be reaching? Because you're looking at me now after 19 years. Do you know what I went through in the first 5 years?
Dr. Yabo, I'm up at 4 a.m. normally. I have this crazy alarm in my body, my natural body clock. 4 a.m. my eyes open. Now, I'm up at 4 a.m. looking for music for reels. I'm up at 4 a.m. looking at your content. What can I put from Dr. Yabo's page? I'm up at 4 a.m. thinking of the videos I want to record. I'm up at 4 a.m. thinking of topics for lives. As it's coming to me, I'm typing it. I'm up at 4 a.m. planning my day such that, you know, I would have time to do everything I need to do. Okay. Entrepreneurship is hard. 9 to 5 is hard. Making money is hard. Being poor is hard. You need to pick your heart. Pick the hard you want. Because honestly, it's not easy to start making money. It's like making money is like you have a huge rock in front of you and you want to push it. It takes a lot of effort to get it, to just push it. But once the rock starts to roll, when, you know, you were coaching me and, you know, I was in your program, you know, it was, you used to tell me, oh, Dr. Moni, don't worry. Dr. Moni, don't worry. People will start. And I'm like, nobody wants me to coach them. Nobody is calling me for workshops. Nobody, what am I going to do? Oh my God. Do you know that? Now it's like, okay, coaching. Okay, I don't have time. The class is full. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, people are calling, oh, workshops. Let me check my schedule. People are like, oh, can you travel for workshops? Of course I can travel. These are my terms. I used to be afraid of telling people my terms. I used to be afraid of giving people my term sheets and my rates and things like that. I was telling my husband last week when I came back from Port Harcourt, because, you know, I was flown to Port Harcourt to give a workshop. And I told my husband, I'm not charging enough. I need to raise my rates. And I just heard your voice in my head. I was like, this woman has told me. Because I was like, this trip took a lot out of me. I'm still trying to recover because I'm still tired. Yes, they paid me good money. But I'm like, no, the money could be better. You know, so I was telling my husband, you know what? I need to raise my rates in January because, you know, I mean, this is hard work. So honestly, you need to keep at it. You know, you won't get any calls for the first few months. You won't get any, but just keep putting stuff out there. Just keep showing up in your office. Because even in Naveen, the first few months, no clients. I used to cry. And my friends would be like, just wear your lipstick and show up in your office and sit in your consulting room. Okay. So in the morning, you know, I'll get to work. Any patients, no. I'll sit in the consulting room and I'll be like, hey, God, am I not a superstar doctor anymore? Why are they not beating a path to my door? That's a different matter entirely. I now realized that I needed to market. But the doctor in me did not even understand marketing. But that's a different issue completely. You know, so you need to persevere. You need to keep at it, you know, with optimism, not keep at it as in, they said we should do it, so I'm doing it. With optimism, with a smile on your face. Yes, it's not easy, but keep on, keep on, keep on. And before you know what is happening, and Oyabo always told me, all you need is that first person to pay you. Once the first person pays you, that is it. That is it. And it's very correct.
If you want to make millions, you can make millions. If you want to make billions, you can make billions, right? Mm-hmm. I've made millions. I'm on my way to make billions. Yeah. You know, I'm on my way to make billions. It's very simple. It's very simple. Okay.
So, the first time I got a credit alert in US dollars, I was screaming. My mom was like, what happened? What happened? What happened? I said, they paid me. It was so funny. I was shouting and dancing over my living room. My mom was like, hey, Abigail, you see, Yahweh, sorry. I had to, is she okay? Yes. Are you all right? Because I looked at my phone and I started screaming. And he was like, what's wrong with you? You know, I'm like, look. So, you know, it really takes time and dedication and patience and hard work, but pick your heart.
5 years with entrepreneurship. These are the hallmarks. You make sure you're around people like Dr. Moni and I, right? People who say it as it is, okay? I don't have time to deceive anybody. Okay, I just don't have time to deceive anybody. The contract that I have with God, listen to me. The contract that I have with God is that I should go forth and tell women the truth, and tell them what it takes to be successful. Tell them what it takes to be purposeful. Tell them the truth. And God has told me that some will hate you for the truth, and some will love you for the truth. And that has become evident in my life every day. But I cannot stop saying the truth. I will correct. Dr. Moni, you and I are here. We're colleagues. We're just a couple of years apart. Because I was your coach, I'll forever be your coach, and we'll forever be colleagues and helping each other. How many times do I come to your DM, sometimes to point out corrections to you?
So I have a problem with spelling. Let me put this out there. Thank God for spell check on Word documents. I think I'm low-key dyslexic, but I haven't been diagnosed yet. But I have an issue with spelling. Usually, I spell words as I pronounce them. So that's my problem. So lose is a problem for me. So I pronounce lose. And I cannot type L-O-S-E because L-O-S-E is not lose. So Yama will come to my DM again and say, Dr. Moni, it is lose, not lose. I'm like, again! And then a problem doctors have, a problem we have as doctors is that part of why we're burnt out is because we don't like to ask for advice. The doctor will not want to ask the nurse to help. The doctor will not want to ask the medical student for his opinion. And you're carrying this big weight on your head. Every other person can help you. You will not ask. Yet you say you're tired and stressed. Okay. I can always take offense and say, who does Dr. Yabo think she is to be telling me that I don't know how to spell? But I know I don't know how to spell. I know it's a problem. And, oh my God. Every time she goes, Dr. Moni, check the post. I'm like, yeah, I've typed lose again. L-O-O-S-E. I'm like, oops. You know, so you need to bring yourself down to learn and to ask for help. And I think it all also still boils down to medical school. The fact that it's drummed into your heads as doctors, you're the leader, you're the most intelligent healthcare practitioner. As everybody looks up to you. We now find it difficult. When I was in my residency program, in my first year of cardiology, a nurse taught me more than any of my professors did.
Yeah. Yes.
A nurse. And she was so good. She used to actually give me pep talks, you know, because I used to be frustrated. I used to want to do procedures. I wouldn't know how to. I'll be crying in the cardiology lab. But she said, Doctor, don't worry, Adanijo, I will teach you. And I could have said, ordinary nurse, what can I learn from you? But no, I brought myself down from my high horse. And I listened to this woman. And she taught me so much in that first year of cardiology, more than my professors ever taught me. I'm saying this in public. I hope I don't get chopped for it. But that is the truth. Medical students, sometimes you'll be like, you know, okay, so what do you have to say as a medical student? And you listen. And in my mind, I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know what this guy is saying. And I'll be like, okay, so that's an interesting point you've raised. I'll be sure to go and check it up. Thank you. But deep down, I'm like, yeah, this boy knows more than me. Let me quickly go and check, you know? Yeah. So you need to be open to learn from people who you think are not qualified to teach you. And even people who are more than qualified to teach you as well. You need to be open to learn. And to unlearn, because some things need to be unlearned. Some bad behavior need to be unlearned. So you need to be able to unlearn so you can learn. That's another quote. I'm good.
So many quotes. We'll have to replay this live over and over to listen to all these quotes. And what we're saying is very true in medicine. And Dr. Folake just said, especially men, especially surgeons, ER doctors, let's not just say only men. No, I think it's equal in medicine, men and women. There are many, many, many proudly arrogant female doctors. And what we're discussing is not only exclusive to doctors, it's in every profession. Every profession, especially the younger women. I have two in my own house, 18 and they're 18 and 24. They are stubborn. Okay. Even my own children are stubborn. So a lot of the 20, 30-year-olds out there, they're stubborn. A lot of the ones in professions, but sometimes it's good to just leave them alone to find their path, right?
Make their own mistakes.
Yeah, because my coaching, you guys that have been through my coaching, you know that I don't mince my words. I say it as it is because I want you guys to learn the truth, and I just say it as it is. But those of you who are older get it, right? Because you've been on this earth for a while, and you've developed some wisdom. You've been through life, and you understand that you have to be humble to learn. The younger ones, they often get offended by me, but I'm not changing anything because that's what God asked me to teach them. The younger ones get offended from correction. They get offended, like the way I come to your DM and I correct you. I go to Dr. Adeyemi's DM and I correct them, or Dr. Ola, the mature women on here. The younger ones don't like that. They get offended. They take it personally. But again, when that happens, I let them go through their path, because they have to go through their path of this is me and that is me and this is what I know, and I know more than you. Who is she? This 52-year-old acting like my mom and right? So you just leave them alone to go and run around in circles and circles and circles and come back to point A. So creativity, okay? Going back to defining creativity as we're talking, I don't know if there's any definition like this, but I know that creativity also has to come with a big dose of humility. Okay?
Yes.
Being humble is being creative. Dr. Moni and I won't be here today with all of these achievements if we haven't been humble to listen. If you don't want to know how many people have taught me in my life, this public speaking that I'm speaking, the person who taught me, she did not find it easy to teach me. Because I was arguing with her that I don't want to speak. I'm too shy. Why do I have to speak to sell a book? I said, I just want to be an author. She said, come. She said, Yabo. She said, Dr. Yabo, you have to. You can't sell a book. Have you seen any authors who don't speak? I said, but can't I just write? It took me a while to come to terms with that. You have to be taught, and you have to be humble. Okay, if you want to, we're talking about burnout, we're talking about creativity, we're talking about purpose. It is all in there. You guys are going to have to go back and rewatch this video because we've dropped so many gems. Okay, now, Dr. Moni, I believe that purpose is loving your life and helping others love their life. Honestly, it's as simple as that. Because if I don't love my life, right, I can't help you love your life. A lot of people cannot come out and live purposefully because they're stressed, they're tired, they're overwhelmed, they're feeling sick. Like you said, that surgeon that you said came to you with high BP. How is he going to use his creativity to help people? His own, his energy level is down. So zero. So your mental health has to be on par. You have to be happy. When I was going through my divorce, somebody will tell me that I should come and do one coaching. Which coaching? Myself, I need coach. I was crying on my pillow. I was hiding. My best friend is here, Claire. Claire is probably the only one I was really talking to all that time. So, I remember the time that I was told by him, that look at your face. You see how ugly you are. I remember it was Claire. Claire, I don't know if you remember. I called Claire. I said, Claire, is it true? Am I ugly? Honestly, that day I was asking because I had pimples all over. And he said, have you looked at your face recently? Do you see how ugly you look? I had to call Claire. I'm like, Claire, tell me the truth. Am I ugly? So my mental health was nil. I was having suicidal ideations. I was down. There's no way I could have coached then. So, but now I'm purposeful. I thank God. I love my life and I want to teach other women how to love their life. So my question for you is, is it are healthcare workers burning out because they don't like their job? Do they love who they are, but they hate their job? Is that why they're burning out? Please talk about this.
Honestly, I think it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of stuff. Now, many of us entered medicine with high hopes. We wanted to save the world. We wanted to do these big things. And I know that majority of people, when they got to medical school, they were like, oops, what am I doing here? But because you're already in it, you can't really backtrack. Okay, so we just go through the motions. Now, your job is different from your profession. So let me just explain that. I'm a cardiologist. That's my profession. Working at XYZ hospital is my job.
Okay.
Now, you can be at XYZ hospital and be burnt out because of their policies, because of, you know, the HR, because of the management. But you can leave XYZ hospital and go to another hospital, to another job in your profession. And it's better for you because you're now allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to, you know, bill your hours how you like and things like that. So your job and your profession are two different things.
Okay.
Now, I enjoy being a cardiologist because I like to help people, but I didn't like my job. I'm still a cardiologist. I still run a clinic. I still have a practice. I still see patients. That's a different job that I prefer because I can do things on my terms. Now, not being in control of your future or not being in control of your time for some people leads to burnout. Because somebody else is telling you what to do, when to work, how to bill, and things like that. And that alone can make you burnt out. Now, some people don't like their professions. Some people, because maybe they were expected to be doctors, because they come from a long line of lawyers. Everybody in their house is a lawyer. So obviously you have to be a lawyer, or everybody in your house is a doctor. So you can't even come and say you want to be an actress. Are you mad? So, you know, they don't want to be in that profession. But because it's what is expected of them, they go there and they are burnt out because they don't like the profession, and obviously they don't like their jobs. So, you know, there's a difference in those two.
Yes, but most employed doctor jobs are similar, or most employed healthcare worker jobs are similar. So,
they are the same.
Yeah, they're the same. They're the same. So which brings me to my next question. What are the creative solutions to this problem? Because and it happens here. They come. Let me just say this quickly. Since I met my husband 4 or 5 years ago, I've probably had doctors and nurse practitioners come and go. Providers are the problem. My support staff, the nurses, the MAs, the billers, they are stable. They've been there for years. But the providers come, go. So one day my husband said, you know what? Why are you stressing about these people leaving? Just understand that they're going to come and go and just keep hiring. And I thought about it and I'm like, you're right. You're right. What's the point of trying to make them stay? They want 6 months, 1 year, they found this, and then you look at them on the internet. The job they left your job to go to, they've left it again to go somewhere else. So they're always looking for the best next position. So I've like we say in Yoruba, I've bacamed. Okay, that's okay. I'm just going to keep replacing them. And now I don't stress about it anymore. I just replace them.
Do you know that looking for the next best position, they are trying to find happiness because they are not happy?
Yes.
I live and work in Lagos, Nigeria. You don't want to know what it is like trying to find healthcare workers in Lagos, in Nigeria. Everybody everybody's on the pipeline to board a plane to anywhere but Nigeria. So when you get a doctor that works with you for 6 months to 1 year, that person is like gold. As in, you've been with me for 6 months. Turnover rate is 3 months because everybody's on their way out. Now, for people to go from job to job, they're looking for fulfillment.
Yes.
But they don't understand that they will not get it in a job.
Yes.
Because all the jobs are the same. Now, the difference between moving from Nigeria to the US or to Canada or wherever, it's also because they want fulfillment. Now, when they move, it's a bigger move, obviously. They make more money, or they think they're making more money. They have better social structures and things like that. But when they get into the system, they will still keep moving from job to job to job because they're looking for that fulfillment. Now, someone told me that there's nothing called purpose. I'm like, there is something called purpose. There's something that you're supposed to do. Now, the difference is sometimes your purpose can change.
Yes.
Your purpose can change depending on the situation that you find yourself in.
Yes.
Your purpose can change, but at any particular point in time, there's something that you're supposed to be doing. And that is the emptiness these doctors feel, that they keep going from job to job. And they think it's money. It is not.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to tell Dr. Adeyemi, that it's actually not money. She said they're looking for money. It's not money.
No.
Some of the richest doctors are the most depressed.
It's not money.
Yeah.
You know, and I realized that, I realized that a while ago, that it's not about money. I have taken a pay cut before. So 12 years ago, I took a pay cut to go to another job because I didn't like the job I was in. And I think my salary was, I took a 70% pay cut.
Wow.
Yes, and I changed jobs.
Wow.
Because at that point in time, the job I was doing was not fulfilling. And it's interesting to note that 10 years after, this same job I took a pay cut for, I became burnt out at it. And it was time to leave at that point and move on to another thing, So, it's so someone is saying for her, it's money. Yes, money is good. Nobody say money is bad. I like money. I like to spend money. Wigs are expensive. Jewelry is expensive. Nobody hates money. But the truth is that there are lots of people who would give anything to find fulfillment or purpose, or to find what they like to do, what they enjoy doing.
Yes.
So money is good though. I'm not saying money is not good though. Money is, how will you pay for holidays? How will I pay for my expensive lunches if I don't make money? Because I'm always in one restaurant or the other eating something. But, sometimes, and that is why people get burnt out when they're chasing money. Yeah. They get burnt out easily because you're not happy doing what you're doing. You're just there for the money. Then you get tired and irritated, but you're just there because you want to make money. That's how you get burnt out.
There's a threshold in life when you realize that it's not about money. Dr. Adeyemi is not yet there. Yeah. And me, I'll say it as no, because that threshold, that time came for me. Also, it comes for everybody. There was one time I was thinking about all the big things, we'll have this, we'll have this big house here with this big yard and this, that, and this car. I don't like to drive. I was planning big car and big. I came to a time when I'm like, actually, none of all those things matter to me. You have a big house with a yard. You pay the gardeners to help you with the yard. You don't have time to spend in the yard. Your kids don't play in the yard. Your kids want to go to their friend's house to play. They don't want to play in the yard in their own house. So I realized that I just want a nice town home in town that will be business related for me. And I'm like, a house that will yield money. I don't need any big money. I want a good house, but I want a house that will be appreciating because it's business related. I will drive a nice car in the neighborhood. I drive it, but much, but I knew what I like spending money on. My own is vacations. When I go on vacation, I look for the best accommodation where I'm going. It's like the best of the best. That's what I spend my money on, because for me, that's self-care. Everybody, for you, it's parties. For me, if I go to parties, I'll get stressed out.
Ah,
You
no,
know,
I enjoy it
you
too.
see, but
Eh?
everybody has to know. Everybody has
Mm-hmm.
to know what they enjoy. For me, I don't. If you invite me to a party today where there's going to be a lot of people, I'll be looking for a way out to squeeze myself out and say. So everybody knows what they enjoy, right? But there comes a time when you realize it's actually not about money. It's about, yes, being able to live a moderately comfortable, happy life, but having a husband that is supportive, your kids are doing well, you have some creative things you're doing, you're helping people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not talking about just helping people as a doctor and you hate what you're doing. Happiness is vice versa. Fulfillment is vice versa. So when people say, oh, but yeah, but he's a doctor, he's helping people, I'm like, but is he happy doing it? You know, it's not, for me, it's like saying, okay, come and drink water. I give my water to all of my kids to drink, but I don't have water to drink. I'm thirsty. You think I'll
Mm-hmm.
be snappy, I'll be angry at everybody because I'm dehydrated. So that's the
Yeah.
problem. People don't understand that it's not about they're helping people, but you're helping people at the expense of your own happiness. That's not
Yeah.
fulfillment. You have
Yeah.
to find the sweet spot where you're doing. For me, I can coach from now until eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I can teach from now. There's some days I coach back to back, back to back, back to back. There's some days I'm on the phone teaching my nurse practitioner back to back. Anything that is administration, anything that is coaching, I can do it from. But if you say, oh yeah, Dr. Yabo, come and start seeing patients again in the office every day, 20, 30, 40 patients, I'll burn out after 5 minutes of seeing the patients every
Mm-hmm.
single day. Because
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's just so, it has to be both ways. You can't just be helping people and say, oh yeah, I'm getting rich, I can buy the latest Bentley, I can buy the latest big house, mansion to show off to my friends, but I really hate the job. But because the money is coming in, you're going to burn out because you are not being replenished. You're depleting your energy
Yourself. Yeah.
at the expense of money and at the expense of helping others. Was that confusing or did I make?
No, it wasn't. It was perfect. It was perfect. Because the truth is that after a while, you even you start resenting your patients.
Yes.
You start
Yes.
snapping at the patients after a while. The people you're supposed to be helping, you start getting upset at them because, and then you see, nobody's saying you should leave your job or you shouldn't chase money, but you need to create time to do that one thing that makes you happy. You need to create time to do that one thing that replenishes you. If it's doing your hair, please create time to do your hair. If it's getting a pedicure, create time to do it. There's a reason why they created weekends, 2 days in a week that you won't do anything. But people will cram so much activities into those weekends. Some people actually sell their leaves. So they'll go on leave from one job. Then they use that 4 weeks to go and work another job.
I know.
So
They do it here too.
they're technically on vacation, but they're working.
Yes.
I haven't gone on vacation since 2018. Why is that so? So Christmas 2018, my kids and I went on vacation. 2019, things happened, we couldn't go. The plan was to do 2020. 2020, COVID hit. Nobody was going anywhere, Even after people started traveling, I was like, I can't be doing COVID tests. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, this year, I realized that I was actually becoming burnt out at this business that I love because I had spent 4 years working every single day.
Yeah. Yes.
So even though I like what I'm doing, I enjoy what I'm doing, but I became burnt out because I didn't take a break from it.
Right.
I work weekends. As an entrepreneur, you don't close. There's no closing time.
No.
You're always working.
Yes.
And I was like, I need 2 days to just lock myself up in some place and just be sleeping and waking up. And people were like, why? Why do you need time off? Because it was like my head was going to explode.
Yes. Yeah. That's burnout.
So you can't just keep on working. Even though you like what you're doing, you will burn out. There's no way you won't burn out. You will burn out.
So, Dr. Moni, what are the creative solutions? We've talked about so many things. This is what I'm saying. You and I can talk for 2 hours. We've been on for almost an hour and a half. This happened last time. We said 1 hour.
No, an hour and a half, okay.
No, we've been on for an hour, 16 minutes.
No way.
Yes. So, what are the creative solutions to this problem of burnout? Hi, lovey. My daughter and Luna just walked in.
Is that Moni? Hi, Moni.
Yeah. No, this is Rennie. Moni is downstairs. This is Luna.
Hi, Rennie.
Ow. Luna just scratched me. Moni, Rennie, go and cut her nails. I'm on live. She jumped on my thigh and scratched me. Hi, lovies. What are the creative solutions to burnout? What, not just in medicine, but for everyone?
In general. First thing, you need to have something you're doing outside your profession. Okay. And also outside your family. So you need to have an identity of self. So finding something that is not about Dr. Moni, the cardiologist, something that is not about Dr. Adanijo, the wife, and Dr. Adanijo, the mom. Something that you like to do. Like the example I gave about my patient, the doctor. He realized that he liked photography. He had taken a photography class. He had bought a camera, but he never used it for over 4 years. So you need to know what you like. And many women don't. Many women are defined by their marital status, by their parenting status, and by their job. So you need to first of all know what what do you like? Then you need to take time to develop that thing that you like. If it means you taking a course to learn more about it, do so. If it means hiring a coach, people don't like hearing that thing, hiring a coach. If
because
it means
they
hiring
think we want
a coach,
their money. They think we need their money.
If it means hiring a coach to help you understand how to hone that skill, and then create time. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Everybody. You can't say there is no time. You create time for what is important to you. It's because you don't think whatever it is, whatever thing outside yourself is important enough. That is why you haven't created time for it. Create time to do that thing that makes you happy. It doesn't have to make you money. If it's volunteering at a shelter, if it's volunteering to help, people free of charge, if it's pro bono work, whatever. Find that thing that makes you happy and gives you joy from inside. If it's hanging out with your friends, because for me, it's hanging out with my friends. I'm a very social person. I'm always out there. I'm always at one event or the other because I enjoy being in the company of certain people. That makes me happy. That's, I like going to new restaurants. I like eating. I like food. So that makes me happy. So I take time. I make dates. We have plans. We actually have, me and my friends have a social calendar. Oh, Friday, the 1st of this, we're going to eat at that restaurant. Sunday, we're going to the beach. Wednesday, we're having a girls' weekend. So we make those plans consciously. And if it's writing a book, if it's taking pictures, even if it is stupid, learning how to do hair, do something that you like. So that would help burnout. And for you to be able to even think of what you like, you need to be able to use your imagination. We all have imagination. We all have imaginations. And you need to be able to hone your imagination so you can even think of the things you like doing. For some people, it's counseling. Some people, it's singing in church. Some people, it's endless. Some people don't like driving. Some people can wake up and drive from here to Abuja because they are enjoying the driving.
Some people relax when they're driving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so the first thing you need to do is know yourself outside your job, outside your profession, outside your relationship status or motherhood status or otherwise. Because there's some people who are not mothers, they still need to have something outside their womb and their uterus. Everything is not always, you don't have children. That has nothing to do with it. Once you know yourself and you know what you like and you know what makes you happy, then please find time, even if it's 1 hour every day or just once a week, to do that thing. You realize that you get burnt out less because you come back refreshed and fulfilled. And even though your job is annoying, you're on call 7 days a week, you're looking forward to day 8 when you go and do that thing that you like. So it gives you a purpose. Even that self is purpose. There we go.
Yep. As you're talking, I already know what our next topic will be. Because, because remember when we did our last live, I knew what the next live will be. There has to be a continuation of this. Because you and I know from coaching women, you know, everything we're saying, yes. Again, and I've been there. There's nothing I say that I haven't been there. But everything we're saying, especially with us African women, but it happens everywhere, but more so with us African women, sometimes we are in a marriage that is a cage. And we're not allowed to do these things, okay? Everything you're saying, you have this with your girlfriends, you have this, there's some husbands that will not allow their wives do all that. And it is real, and it happens. They will not let them go out with their friends. They will not let them do this. They guilt trip them. They control them. I was in that kind of situation, even though it didn't work with me, but he was trying it. I remember, you know, I would want to go to the mall and he would say, how many married women do you even see at the mall? This mall that you're always going to. Oh, yeah. I remember there was a time I was so burnt out. I said, okay, I'm going to start taking Thursdays off. I was the one doing most of the work. When I said, I blocked my calendar, I said, I'm taking it off. So on Thursdays, I would want to do my nails, do all those things, go to the mall. And on Thursdays, he would get so you could tell he was anxious because he would drive off, come back in as if he forgot something, drive off, come back in. And one day I had to ask, I'm like, why do Thursdays make you so anxious? Yeah, because you're always saying you're going to the mall. You're a married woman. You're a married woman. So that didn't stop me. I knew I had to be out of there. But
it's insecurity.
Yeah, I know. But there are many women who are still in that they can't have a purpose. Or there'll be a woman who says, okay, she wants to do photography or she wants, and the husband is like, which photography? Go and sit down there. Go and take care of the kids. Go and cook me a mala. So that's going to be our next live because there are many women who are being controlled by that and they cannot break free from this cage of control from their husbands, okay? So were there any other creative solutions to the problem aside from, you know, having your own identity and doing the things you love?
Then at your job, are there ways you can change with the way things are done such that you won't be so burnt out? Take, for example, when I first joined my 9-to-5 job, that one that I left and took a pay cut for, they were running cardiology clinic till 6 p.m. And I found it strange. So you start running clinic from 8 o'clock and then you're done by 6. And then you now enter Lagos traffic and get home by 8. What time do you have for your children? They're like, no, that's how we do it. And I'm like, no, there has to be a more creative way to make sure that, you know, clinic ends at normal times, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yep.
And I sat down with the billing and the medical records, and we came up with the appointment system. We came up with so many things. Yes, it took a while. There was resistance. But in 6 months, clinic was ending at 1.
Wow.
1 o'clock, we even had more patients. But because we were more efficient with time,
yes,
by 1 o'clock, we were done. And we were free to do whatever.
That's crazy.
And the same people that said it couldn't be done were like, so Adanijo, how did you manage to, you know, to trim this clinic? And I'm like, because I was creative with planning time. And that's something else I'm really good at. Planning time management.
Yes.
I can actually be a time management coach because I know how to manage time.
Please add it.
You know, I know how to manage time.
Add it.
So if you're in a job, if you're in a job and you're burnt out, look at how you do your job
Yes.
The answer may be in changing the way you do your job. And that also needs creativity.
Yes.
Do you need to delegate more? Do you micromanage all your staff? Have you trained your subordinates enough to be able to work when you're not there? Maybe that's why you're stressed. You may have a subordinate that is really good at something that you suck at. But because you haven't given the person the chance to help you, she'll just be looking at you and say, be doing it now. And you'll be there struggling, burning out. When all you need to do is tell this young lady or this young man, since you're good at Excel, do A, B, C, D. When you're done, let me see what you have done. And please, when somebody helps you with something, when you get to your bosses, give the person credit.
Yes.
That will only help them help you more. Because your assistant can't have put together a presentation for you. And then you now go and present. And then you're like, I. Then you take all the credit. That's nasty. You need to talk about your team that helped you put this together. And that will even help you reduce burnout, because people will want to help you.
That is in so many things. So many, not even just in your job, so many things. How you see how you humble yourself to say, oh, Dr. Yabo, my coach. There are some that feel too big to say that. You coach them, you teach them everything, but they don't want to say that you were their coach. They want to make it seem like they learned everything, and that's the beginning of that's the beginning of failure. You know, again,
exactly.
That's the opposite of humility. If you're taught by someone and then you just want to take all the glory as if it's you, oh my goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're right. Be creative with time. Yes.
And then in your job as well, you need to be creative with so many things. Now, people do things a certain way because they don't know better. If you have a better way of, unless you're in a toxic work environment, obviously, then you may need to live there.
Right.
But if you have a better way of doing things such that it will help you avoid burnout at work, it will help make your job easier, please speak up. They may not even know that whatever it is you're doing, what they're doing to you rather, is making you burnt out and exhausted. Discuss everything. Discuss hours. Discuss, okay, you know what? I don't do anything from 2 p.m. and I'm supposed to close at 5. Is there a way I can leave early? Is there a way? Everything is always up for conversation.
Yeah.
The worst they can do is tell you no.
Should I remove that person?
Please.
Yes, go ahead.
So, things like, I don't know who that person is. I really don't know who that person is.
It doesn't, you don't respond to people like that. So let's keep going.
So that kind of thing, how would you, not talk about how to change things in your organization and just be there suffering burnout? How?
Sorry that I was removing another comment. I got distracted by that person. People are so rude. Lack of emotional intelligence, lack of emotional intelligence. This is what we say, about people. It's just in the world we live in, oh my gosh. If you're not thick-skinned, if you're not thick-skinned, if you're not solid in yourself as a person, and this is why I tell people that if you're not ready for social media, don't come onto social media. I couldn't have done social media when I wasn't like solid in myself. Now I just block them and I just move on. I don't have time for, but you really, really have to understand that, people are just not emotionally intelligent at all. So the last question that we get out of here, we've talked about it, so I guess you can just conclude that why are doctors so far removed from the business side of medicine? I think we've discussed it. We can just, conclude it again and then we're done.
Well, partly because we are not taught. We are not taught. We just think that part of life, like I said, is beneath us. is not important. You know, it's not what we are supposed to be talking about. You know, because we are the best doctors, we're the leaders of the health team, we cannot be discussing things as lowly as numbers, you know, so we need to change that orientation.
Okay. So that was it. Dr. Moni, I had said I wasn't going to post it on my Instagram, only on YouTube. I'm going to post it on both because this video, this video is gold. I'm going to post it on my page. I'll collaborate with you so that it's easier. But thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You truly are a teacher in your DNA. you truly are a teacher. Yes, you are. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. I've said it. The next time we're going to charge all of you $1,000 each to come on this live. If Dr. Moni is going to speak, the next time we're doing a live, you're going to pay $1,000. I'm just joking. But honestly, if you're just joining, make sure you go and watch the replay. Just get your snacks or your tea and watch this 1.5 hours again, over and over, because this was wonderful. Dr. Moni, thank you, my sister from another mommy.
Thank you for having me.
You're again. I know. But we already know the topic for the next one. It's just to schedule it before the holidays. And thank you to everybody. Hi, Dr. Yabo. Okay, Dr. Moni, let's end this live because I think
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, let's end this live. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. God bless. Bye.